if you regularly read Teen Vogue, you're not a social scientist.
No.
I'm just like, and I don't have any data to support that, but
Seems obvious.
it seems kind of obvious to me. Are you familiar with the coolest monkey in the jungle
Oh yeah.
scandal?
Oh yeah. H&M.
So this is sort of the this is the aftermath of sort of radical SJW activity, so to speak.
Yep.
So H&M, obviously they make clothes for kids. They, you would think that Legos or sort of Lego related apparel
Yeah.
would be spot on for kids.
Yep.
But there's an article here, and we can include that in the description box. People are accusing H&M of cultural appropriation for selling socks that appear to feature the word Allah. And so maybe in post we'll include a picture of this very sock.
Probably.
But supposedly, there's this sock, and if you turn it around, sort of upside down, the sort of movement of a particular Lego man's jackhammer spells out the Arabic word for Allah.
It's a normal Lego like figure and is doing a normal thing, and it's not like, but they've actually made it like they've turned it upside down, and wow, there you go.
There you go. Illuminati confirmed.
I just think it's funny because the article says, like in the headline,
Yeah.
it says appears to feature.
Yeah.
Allah.
That's a very important word.
That is like,
Appears to feature.
like,
I mean, it's a free for all. There's no rules anymore.
Yeah, who's gonna decide? Like, you can just say that about anything.
I mean, because who holds like the power of definition here is kind of the clue, I think. Like I mentioned to you earlier, this Count Dankula,
Yeah.
who's going through some a process because he made this video about his supposed Nazi pug.
Yeah.
What's incredibly interesting about it is that when he sort of dives into the actual law that supposedly regulates hate speech, there's a very important word in there.
Yeah.
Perceive.
Yeah.
So if the court perceives it to be hate speech, then essentially it is hate speech.
Like, that someone passed that law in the first place, it seems really weird because usually, like, at least, I don't know, this was in Scotland, right?
Yeah, I think he's Scottish.
But I don't know how, like, really how their justice system works. But, like, for instance, in the US, you have judges that they're the least, like, trustworthy people when it comes to this stuff because they're so conservative. They're so, like, they get chosen for life. And often, when you sit there, it's very hard to be dragged out of it. And I think it's the same everywhere. I think it's the same in Norway. Yeah, we have different like ways to appoint judges and stuff like that. But I think they sit like pretty much lifetime out, and
yeah,
they decide the precedence of they what's the word? They're the ones that are looking at the laws and perceiving them.
Yeah, interpreting.
Yeah, interpreting the laws and choosing. And like, I don't understand, when we made these laws, did we really have that much trust in those people? Like,
it seems like an awful lot of power for one person to, or sort of one even organization or sort of department to, because like the entire, you could argue, you mentioned earlier, like the sort of fundamental idea of separating judge, jury, and executioner is exactly this.
Yeah,
it's like,
and here it isn't done properly. Like, it's like we just forgot how it's supposed to work.
What's the fucking purpose?
Yeah, like what the fuck? It's insane. And Vogue, this article comes from Teen Vogue, but they're obviously like a daughter thing of the real Vogue, and
Yeah, I think so.
they're really big. Like they're huge. They have probably millions of readers. I don't know, but
I would imagine that they've got quite a bit of reach.
yeah, they're really popular. And the problem is as well, I think that the media today, they have a set sort of audiences, and they play on that. So they are afraid to sort of go the other way, or maybe more so that they're very eager to go this way.
Yeah.
Like they know that the readers want, like, not necessarily want it, but they feed on it. The readers feed on this shit. Like they love to get outraged, and like this is how they create clicks, and this is how like. But it's such a shame because we're never gonna get like because I think the people that read Vogue are the people that maybe would be offended by this.
Look, if you regularly read Teen Vogue, you're not a social scientist.
No,
I'm just like I don't have any data to support that, but it
seems obvious.
It seems kind of obvious to me, and you know they hide behind this. You know, it's sort of clever wording because you go, it would appear like some people think that, but you just wrote a fucking article about it, and you know who your readers are.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you can frame it however you want, but it's still.
This is pretty insane though, because like there's multiple pictures of socks here. Now I wonder, like, what happens if you turn the other socks upside down?
Yeah.
Like, is there gonna be some sort of like summoning of a demon or something?
Oh, have you seen the it's like it's essentially, well, it's not a meme, it's just a funny video, but it was very popular a while back. It's this Christian I would guess conservative woman who looks at, you know, Monster Energy.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See this? It's the Arabic sign for devil or some shit. And if you turn it upside down. And look,
insane.
There might be some merit to that. There might actually be some clever sort of marketing, but like, do you really believe it's motivated by evil? Or...
Yeah, like, didn't she like believe that? Yeah, it was the devil himself in person that was behind this.
And that's another question, because if it's the devil, couldn't you in theory pick some sort of profession where you'd have more of a bit of an impact on society?
Yeah, I would think so. Like, you wouldn't go to the energy. Oh, I'm gonna rise from the depths of hell and claim the world. How should I do it?
Market Monster energy
like,
drinks to
energy
kids.
Drinks. Seems no, but that's, I don't know if you've seen the TV show Lucifer.
No,
it's insanely bad.
Oh,
it's basically, that's what it's about. It's about the devil, and he takes a human shape, comes up to Earth, and just lives like a human. And then he has everyday struggles about being the devil. Like,
he pays taxes, like
yeah. He works, and he's like a regular dude, and he just goes out partying sometimes. And then there's like some sad moments where he sits and thinks about his his life, his reality, that he's the devil. And it's supposed to be really deep.
Well, but like, what are you supposed to take out from it? Is it like the devil's nice too, or
yeah, maybe like that's. I haven't thought about that. That might be a little bit like, maybe the devil isn't only in energy drinks. Maybe he's also in the TV industry and is trying to ease us into the devil's worship here.
Right. So there's some sort of soft approach here.
Yeah. He's.
Hey man, I'm not.
Because the God thing, it didn't work. He saw that. God tried really hard from day one.
Yeah.
And people don't believe it because it's too radical.
Yeah.
So he takes the soft approach.
Okay, right. So it's sort of like so like the target audience for this sort of message is agnostics. So like,
yeah, probably.
Look, the devil's not ISIS or whatever. It's
just a guy.
It's the marketer for Monster Energy drinks.
Yeah.
And he lives in a condo, and his son's an autist, and there's a bunch of shit.
He's anti-vaccines,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Look, he's not a bad person. He just got involved with wrong people
Yeah.
at an early age.
Well, yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. This is
It's kind of in the same street, like offending people.
yeah. This particular article, it's from a Norwegian sort of mainstream tabloid called Dagbladet, daily magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
that's how I would translate it.
I haven't actually thought about that
Yeah, no.
before, but okay, yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who follow like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson and sort of that whole particular climate within the YouTube domain,
Yeah.
you might have caught a whiff of this dude called Brett Weinstein. He talks a lot about the left essentially eating itself because there's this hierarchy of oppressed identity groups, and the entire game is who's the more oppressed, right? So this particular article revolves around a female frontman or a front woman
Yeah.
for a Eurovision band or group, I should say, called Hungry Hearts.
Hungry Hearts.
Check out their music; it's pretty dank.
Yeah.
And she's essentially okay. So she's a feminist, like all the way through, and she's been critiquing some of the sort of transvestite or trans movement, I guess. So the LGBT plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but there's a lot of
yeah, I know. It's
and so she recently got censored, or rather,
like she isn't allowed to be on the show, or she's just like.
no. There's an art museum
Oh yeah.
that don't want to show a song of hers called Vagina Anthem because in that anthem or in that song, there's a line here. I'm a hateful, ugly TERF, and then TERF supposedly stands for trans exclusionary radical feminist. So I imagine this is something that the trans movement, like this is a term they've coined.
Yeah, probably to like the people that hate on them or something.
Yeah. So like the feminists that don't agree with.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a problem, isn't it? Because all the feminists were on that side, but now the feminist movement is, well, it has been for a long time, but now it's really split up.
Yeah,
And
it is.
so these new groups, these LGBT plus groups that sort of have taken over, I would say, like the traditional feminist.
Look,
Like,
if you're gay or just straight feminist,
yeah.
you're pretty conservative
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, but yeah, they probably coined that term, like as you said, like Brett Weinstein said, like it's a contest about being more offended.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't know whether that's sort of an accurate representation of what he said, but he goes on about the left eating itself, and I imagine essentially it's.
But I agree with that.
Yeah.
If he said that, so I can stand for that statement. It's it makes sense, and when you look at how they choose to, I don't know, fight their battles, like it's a really weird way to approach it.
Like there's no unity anymore. So it's like it's breaking up. So have you caught a whiff of this the pedophile thing?
No, I don't think so.
Wow, this is some next level shit. Because if you thought the trans movement critiquing feminists, if you thought that was weird, there's now a new sort of very controversial group of people who want to destigmatize pedophilia, and they hide under the LGBT umbrella because it's like, look, we're attracted to kids, and we don't act on it, but we're attracted to kids, and we think it's shameful that society sort of stomps on it.
I'm shocked but I'm also not shocked because it makes sense.
Because where does it fucking end?
Yeah, because like I would probably do that if I was a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like this is the perfect like all on the table, and like you're not supposed to be judged. Like people are supposed to be how they were born, and like if you're born a pedophile, that's basically the same thing as saying you were born trans whatever. I don't know the terms, but
Yeah.
like if you were a woman and you say when you grow up you say I want to be a man, or I was born a man in a woman's body. That's the same. Like I was born a pedophile in a non-pedophile body. Like I mean, it makes sense that they would do that. But I also saw something which is on the same like chord as that, and that was that there was pedophiles that and these pedophiles, they actually acted on it.
Oh.
But they said they identified as a kid.
Oh, okay. So then it's all right.
Yeah, because kid, like a 12-year-old having sex with someone that identifies as being 12-year-old, that's like
it's okay.
they're the same age. Like this should be okay.
Look, I know if I ran my penis inside your 5-month-old son,
Yeah,
it would probably destroy his every part of his body. But it's okay because
yeah, because I'm
mentally we're the same.
Yes, that's their argument. That's their argument, and it's pretty insane. And the worst part is that there are actually people that are sympathetic to pedophiles. Like,
Yeah.
Like I seen, like I saw one woman. I don't remember her name. It was last week on Joe Rogan, and she she really pitied them. Like she really pitied.
I think I saw that.
It's like it was really crazy to watch, and I just saw Joe Rogan was just sitting like.
Well, I mean, okay, so when you get that feeling, there's a reason for it. I'm not saying that, every time you cringe, it's sort of warranted or that, that's an indicator that something's wrong in the state of Denmark. But
there is at least something there. Like
I get the argument that because I think this was on Joe Rogan as well. We
watch a lot of Joe Rogan.
we only watch Joe Rogan.
It's the only thing what.
Someone mentioned that pedophiles have like a common denominator, or that they usually are victims of molestation or rape themselves. And if that is the case, like we don't, I'm not entirely sure to what extent that is true, but if that is the case, then you can imagine people being sympathetic, but I mean then you need to treat it like a disease, like a mental health issue.
But the problem, like if you look at it as that, then like because I know myself, if I had kids and I knew that a pedophile lived near me, like I would be on my toes all the time. Like I would not, like there is something wrong. We can't let pedophiles like just live openly. Like
no.
It can't be like that. And if it's a sickness, like if it's a disease and they can get help, that's good. But we don't know how to help them. Like I've never read about a pedophile being converted. Like
it's
they're just
suppressing,
refraining from doing it, but they're still walking around thinking about fucking your kids. Like
it's pretty fucking.
It's still pretty nasty, and I don't know, like it's. But it's pretty weird, just in the general case, like why does pedophile even exist? Like.
Yeah. No.
What the fuck is that?
Maybe some psychologists.
Yeah.
Could.
Jordan Peterson could probably shed a light on this, but.
Hey man, would you come to our show?
But something I think is really interesting though is because I think also it's not just feminists, but I think also some trans people in the world are starting to alienate themselves from this LGBT movement.
Yeah,
they think it's too crazy, like it's too much. They don't actually want that.
Oh, no doubt. There's probably people who legitimately struggle or have struggled with gender confusion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
probably,
basically just want to be left alone.
Yeah, they just let me be me.
Like, it's like because when you start talking about, look, we need all these laws or all these incentives and or resources to take care of this particular person, I mean, you're not treating that person as an equal.
No,
really.
Yeah. No, you're.
It's kind of like, imagine you recently, lost your legs, you became severely handicapped. It's like, I imagine for the first couple of weeks or months or maybe even years, that experience would be very humbling.
Yeah.
It's like you need people to open the door for you. You need people to push you around.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd try and avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah, treating. Yeah.
Not because you should, but because that's just especially how men are wired.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and I also think because of like the way that they're doing it so openly, and there's like some people don't want, especially men, don't want help open. Like they don't want people to come say, "Hey,"
yeah,
and pat you on the back and like, "I'm gonna help you.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fine."
It's patronizing as shit.
You want someone to just do something. Not like they're doing so publicly. Like you just want the people that are close to you to just look at you as an equal and help you with the things that you want, and you do the same for the people in your life. Like that.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how you should. Like
if
it's so weird.
If any of my sisters or family members or close friends or whatever approached me and went, "Look, I have for instance, a handicap or whatever," and went, "Look, every Friday I'll need help with fucking groceries or whatever." Am I supposed to write a Facebook post about that? It's like, no.
I think you are in this society, but
well, yeah,
no, not really.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
A fucking wall of text. Like you go into a grocery store and there's no handicap ramp, and you're like,
yeah.
Yesterday, as of the 1st of February, 2018. Me and my sister went grocery shopping. Grocery shopping. To our surprise.
And then you just make your whole day.
Yeah, about
and probably like the weeks after that about that.
Yeah.
And then the handicapped person is just sitting there. I just want my fucking groceries. Man. I don't give a shit. Just get my groceries. I don't know. But I read, or it was on a podcast, and I think it was if you've heard of Sam Harris.
Yeah, the neuroscientist.
Dude. And he's a wise dude, and he talked about some of these like parents. I actually don't think it was him. It was the podcast after him. They do a lot of undercover work. You go undercover because like the opinions are so split up, so you can get a lot of good content if you just go in with and just troll people, basically. Just have the exact opposite view of them. Basically, they did this, and they went into a place or a conference where there's parents that are advocating giving
puberty blockers
to your kids. And these are medicine that they're going on like continually or over like once a week or something.
Yeah, an extended period of time. Yeah.
Like no, they just go on this like all their life if they actually want to stay that way. And this is a pill that stops your your gender development.
Oh yeah, I read about that. Yeah.
And they use the argument that this is good, that the kids can then choose which gender they want to be when they grow up, because and it was so sick because they talked about you can't put the kids on these pills before like I don't remember the exact age, it was like before the age of 3. Like it's that low, and the reason for that was you have to wait until like, I'm just throwing numbers, but like age 5, because that's when your penis is big enough so that you can invert it to a vagina.
Okay. So that's why you should wait to the age of 5.
That's why you should wait, because if you don't wait, then you take away that opportunity so that they can become a woman. So if you start exactly at that, they will have just a big enough penis so that they can invert it to a vagina when they grow up. It's so insane. It's so insane. And they were serious about this. Like and these guys were undercover, so they, they just acted like they were on their team, like at first.
Yeah, we see eye to eye.
Yeah, and like they just tried to get information out of them. It was just insane, like what they said, and like they were sincere about this. And they had kids that were using these like
puberty blockers.
If you recall, like when we were getting out of junior high, or like 10th grade, you're supposed to pick whatever high school and what type of program you want to attend.
Yeah.
Now imagine the struggle you had making that decision.
Yeah.
Like that was the biggest decision you ever made up until that point.
Yeah, it's like what am I gonna be, or what am I gonna do?
But supposedly at the age of 5, you can decide whether you're born in the wrong body. I think that's ridiculous. You don't understand.
No, but I think that's the argument. Like it's not the kids that decide at age 5, it's the parents that decide for the kids so that the kids that can decide later. Like,
so because
they say the same thing, like age 5 is too early to know that, but we want to keep the opportunity open.
But okay, so if I get this straight, it's if you put your kid on these pills when he's 5, you stop like growth of
hormones and
so like manly palms and chin and like your penis,
everything that happens in puberty basically.
Okay, so that stops. Does it continue if you get off the pills after you're 20?
They say that, but how the fuck would that work? Like, you can't just put puberty on hold for 20 years. Like, I don't think that would. They say that it's like the guy that they talked to said that, there's no like risks. Puberty would just happen as normal if you go off. But I don't believe that. That's impossible. Like, I don't think you know anything about biology if you think that. It's like, it doesn't work that way.
But this is legal. Like, you can get these drugs or pills, I should say.
Yeah, it's perfectly legal, but it's not very public. I don't think. It's more like these. I would probably compare with like a cult. Like, they just go around and they sell their message, and some unfortunate like weak people get drawn in and they destroy the lives of their child.
Like circumcising your daughter.
Yeah. Oh.
Because that's like, we know the ramifications for that now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's insane. And like I'm actually reading, if you've heard of Aldous Huxley.
No.
I always make the mistake in the name here. I always go to the conspiracy theory, New World Order.
Oh, okay.
But that's not what the book is called. It's
Okay.
like Brave New World. Brave New World.
Okay.
And it's like, have you heard of 1984 by George Orwell?
Yeah,
It's a
but I haven't.
dystopian future, basically, and this is the same type of thing. But in that book, they've actually fixed this problem.
This is fiction.
This is fiction.
Yeah.
But this was written in the 30s. So it's insane that they've like even thought about these things. But in this book, I've only read like 50 pages, but they lay out how the society is. It's a future society where there is a world government. And what they've decided is that having parents and homes for kids is not the way to go. That's not how to get good workers. It's not like, and then so what happens in that universe is that kids are just like, they're just manufactured. They found a way to, like, we've found that way already, to get an egg, take it out of the body of a woman, and inject it.
Yeah.
Like, we can do that.
It's
if
realistic.
you start to mass produce that, then you have basically what is in that book. And none of the kids, they don't know anything else. Like, they don't know, they never had parents, they never had homes. They've just put in like these, like asylums basically. And they grow up there, and in their sleep and stuff, they get this hypnotherapy thing. So they have the same thing, like from age 1 to 2, they have the same phrase. set
Ah,
into their
okay.
mind when they're sleeping.
So they get indoctrinated.
So they just learn that's the way to think.
Okay, yeah.
And like that's, I mean, yeah,
It's pretty accurate.
yeah, like it's we're not that far off. Like people soon cannot decide anything for themselves. Like it just like the world is trying to just make it like this is how it's supposed to be. And
This is the thing with CRISPR, isn't it?
yeah,
Because if you give or well any sort of gene altercation modification sort of technology, it would be very weird if we didn't see a huge chunk of people becoming very bland and looking exactly the same.
yeah, that's
According to like beauty standards, for instance. So like you can go, I want my kid to have blue eyes, blonde hair, a good, I don't know, predispositions for like a good physical build,
yeah,
all that shit. And that would be entirely dictated by you know, beauty standards.
yeah, and like that's not natural standards. Like
Yeah, no.
socially constructed standards that probably is not the best for us. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's but that's how they make kids in this, because they have a caste system in this society in the book, so that when they create new humans, they sort of in the process they but on purpose make some people worse than others,
Right.
because some people have to do the shit jobs.
Yeah, because not everyone can belong to the top 1%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So they're just mass producing workers basically. And I don't know, it's not that different from today. We're born and we're supposed to work our entire lives and make fucking like make value, make money for some people we don't know, and they in turn make jobs that our kids can slave through their lives in. Like
Yeah.
it's not that different. I don't think it's
See-
just that it's not a real doctrine yet, but all the ideas are like they're there, like
Yeah.
they're out there, and
It's almost like this caste system thing moves in cycles.
yeah,
Because like that was a thing with, what was it, Hinduism?
yeah.
Yeah.
India,
Yeah.
they still have it. I think.
They still have that?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're trying to move away from it, but how hard is that? Like when you know, like you're in a group that is indoctrinated to hate another group, and they also are indoctrinated to hate you, and you're just supposed to not do that anymore. You're just, yeah, we're equal. That's so hard.
Well, if you imagine you're on top of the food chain.
Yeah.
And you have the power to change things. Why would you ever change
No,
things?
You wouldn't, because yeah, it would not be good for you. Yeah.